All right, so we have some quarterbacks we're going to talk about. One guy I grabbed for my playoff push already, and one guy I already had for my playoff push. So this is very interesting. Caleb Williams with the Chicago Bears going to San Francisco. Speaking of the West Coast, or Will Levis, Mr. Mayo Man himself, playing Jacksonville, one of the worst teams in all of football. This is a lot harder than you think because Will Levis has been a lot better than you think. I know that because I have Lamar in a league, and I had to settle for Will Levis, and I'm like, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised with his production. But am I willing to start him over Caleb Williams this week? Justin, I'm going to start with you because I don't know.
Yeah, so Will Levis has been great over the last couple weeks. The last two games, Jacksonville is also allowing 25.4 points to the quarterbacks. And Levis has completed 18 passes in three of his last four, with 17 in the other game. So he's completing passes, he's getting there. And since the bye week, he is a 8-3 touchdown to interception ratio, which is pretty solid for somebody that struggled very early. And a lot of people thought maybe he got benched. Maybe his injury was actually more of like, oh, we're just going to bench him for a while. And we've seen other quarterbacks, especially from the draft class, get benched this season and then come back and do pretty well. Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. Maybe CJ Stroud should have got benched because he hasn't been playing well. But anyways, Williams, however, has a new head coach this week. He has a new offensive coordinator this week. He has a new QB coach this week. Everything is new. However, he did play on Thursday, and we have seen teams light it up with an interim head coach going into a big game that they shouldn't be winning. So I would not be any bit surprised that Caleb Williams and the Bears offense explodes this weekend against San Francisco, the team that they're not supposed to. San Francisco is also like struggling with injuries right now, so that doesn't help either. I think, however, I think I lean Levis here though against the Jacksonville defense. The only thing, the only thing is that they just had that big like Trevor Lawrence just got hurt, and then they played pretty well against the Houston Texans. No, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling from last Friday. Caleb Williams in a big game against San Francisco. I'm
you
I'm,
know, I don't
I'm picking Caleb Williams.
I don't hate it. Again, don't hate it. The Jaguars give up the most fantasy points to the quarterback, 22.6. Buccaneers are a close second, 22.5 per game. So that's a huge, huge gap. When we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers, they're a little bit down the ways in that. Matter of fact, they're kind of in the middle of the road. They only give up 16.3 fantasy points per game. That's pretty good. I believe that's top six. So I lied. It's not middle of the road. It's top six. So that plays a huge part into it. You've got a rookie quarterback going into San Francisco, traveling on the road. So that's a situation where I'm not looking forward to a whole new offensive, like you said, a whole new offensive scheme. Probably, who knows what's going to happen. Will Levis, his numbers look good. Since week 10, he's only the quarterback 15, though. So even though he has been better, it's still not good enough to get himself in the top 12 from his return of his injury. Still, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, and a couple more was just better than him, including Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams in that time is the quarterback 9, averaging 18.9 points per game, where Will Levis is 17.3. So it's only about a point. So really, when you look at that, you can look at these numbers and go, wow, one person's at 8, the other person's at 15. But when you actually look at what separates them, it's only about 1 point per game. You have to take it. It's going to be some math, people. It's going to be some math. Then you go into Jacksonville, they average whatever, 22 point, whatever it was. San Francisco. So you got like, oh, is Caleb going to come down from that average? Is Will Levis going to go up from that average? Is it going to equal out? Like, there's a lot of math going on here, which I'm not really into math. That being said, I think I'm going to go Will Levis as well. Jacksonville, divisional game. They know each other. Will Levis has Calvin Ridley, which Mateo already said in the chat. He's going to start Calvin Ridley this week. I don't blame him. I would too if I rostered Calvin Ridley. I'm really into Will Levis this week, although maybe it's a bias because I did pick him up and I am starting him, and I do need a win to get into the playoffs. And it is against Dirtbag Dave.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would definitely be picking up Levis. Levis could be one of those league winners at the end of the season for the quarterback position. He plays, again, the 32nd ranked defense against the quarterback this week, 30th next week, 20th the following week, and then again the 32nd the 32nd ranked team against the quarterback position in the championship matchup. He's definitely a good option going down the stretch because he should be able to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to go with Caleb Williams this week.
You're going Caleb? I'm going Will Levis. So that's the set. That's boom. Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Already.